morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is July 9th, 2019, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the major economic events of the day, just one event really happening today out of the United States at 1:45 South African time. Fed Chairman Powell will be speaking. That's obviously in regards to the FOMC decision a couple of weeks ago. So, not really much going on in terms of economic data that's coming out. But looking at the markets, we still see that the dollar is still strong, and the majors retrace versus the dollar onto their lower range. We're going to take a look at that. And looking at the indices, Dow Jones sells off to 26,700. We mentioned this yesterday. It's over a 200-point sell-off yesterday, sitting on support right now. We'll take a look at that, so we'll anticipate what's going to happen next. And looking at the commodities, gold retraces below 1,400, while oil gains on weather in the Gulf. Okay, what that means is that during this time of the year, there's a lot of storms and hurricanes that develop in the Gulf of Mexico and disrupt the distribution of oil, and as such, it wreaks havoc on the oil markets. We're going to take a look at that as well. And looking at the stocks, though, they're still strong. Okay, they're close to their all-time highs. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, breaks out again on the upside above 12,000, really broke that resistance level and just took off. So there is some bullish sentiment in the market, so I would expect the Dow Jones to actually bounce here, but let's take a look at what we can expect from today's trading. So we're jumping into the Euro USD daily chart. You can see we're at that bottom of that range, a 1216-ish level, really capitulating here. I would expect it to actually bounce here. Okay, I would actually look to start actually buying a little bit here, because we mentioned this yesterday that it is in that somewhat of upwards trend lines and still hasn't breached it, and really having a hard time breaching it. So with that said, I would get in lightly here, okay, just to see that it solidifies. I wouldn't get so aggressively here, but I would just start to test the waters to see if it does look like it's going to bounce. Now looking at the others, though, not very promising, and this is the reason I say not to get into this position so aggressively. If we look at the GBP, it's on its dead lows, 125.09-ish level. If you look at a daily, it's breaking closer to that multi-year low. Okay, the last time we were here was 2018 in December, so that's quite a while ago. Okay, so with that said, if it does break below this, this is something really colossal, and we could see it maybe go back to this lower of 123, 122-ish. So that's something to consider if this does freight later today. Now looking at the Aussie dollar, also sold off and sitting on support here. So, between the Euro USD and the Aussie USD, you're looking at support. So I'd like to see some sort of bounce before I do say, it's a clear buy. But, you might want to test the waters with the Euro USD with a small lot just to see how it goes. Now, looking at gold here, we broke this 114-ish level. We're trading just shy of it, 1395-ish level. 1380-ish level is a support level. So really, again, still finding some footing here between these two areas, the upper area 1436 and the lower area 1382, and we were just inching closer to that, but still nothing yet to really write home about that it's trading within a range. Now looking at oil, bouncing a little bit yesterday above the $57 range, 57.95-ish range, hitting 58 even, and now we're tracing down to 57.47. Now, like I mentioned, this time of the year going into late July, August, and September is hurricane season in the Gulf of Mexico, which really disrupts the distribution of oil, and as such, like I said, wreaks havoc on the oil markets, makes oil prices go up because the distribution isn't there. The refineries are in Texas, which is the edge of the Gulf of Mexico. So with that said, you got to pay attention to the weather here. I mean, if you're going to be trading oil, it's more directed this time of year. It's really more directed to what's going on with the weather in the Gulf of Mexico. Now looking at the Dow Jones, all right, we sold off. We're looking at a 4-hour chart here. You can see we sold off to this 26,700-ish level, and this was really our high. Okay, this was our all-time high previously. If you look at a daily chart, that was really our all-time high. We're just about right here, 26,700-ish level. So I do expect this to be a support level. Okay, I really do expect it to be a support level. So let's see if it does bounce off of it. Because if you look at the stocks, they're still strong. Microsoft is still on its highs, just $2 off. If you look at Facebook, also on its highs, so it's still strong. Okay, the markets aren't over yet. But the question is that what's stalling it? Okay, maybe there's not enough momentum to carry the markets even higher, because if they do go higher, that means they'll go even higher than that, right? It's a futures contract, the market. So, with that said, just got to really pay attention to the stocks there to see if they do turn on the downside, that might capitulate the markets further down. But, ultimately stocks are really still very strong. So it's not just one stock, it's across the board. If you look at Amazon also, really strong at that 1951-ish level, close to 2000, so, they capitulated. I can't say it's across the board, because when we look at Google and we look at some of the other stocks, they're not at their all-time highs, but it is still, the market is still very bullish, and things are looking up in the United States. So with that said, although I'm a little bit biased on the upside, I'm still a little bit cautious on the downside. In the interim, I think in the grander scheme of things, we're still going to go higher, throughout the year, but that's another story. Okay, not for now. Okay, but ultimately it is very still strong. Now, looking at some of the items that are pushing us higher, if we look at Bitcoin here, above that 11,785. I mean, check this out. This thing is a riot. Okay, right there is our resistance level. We broke, we're up above it. We retraced a little bit, used it as a support level, and boom, we're at 12,665 and about 1,300 to $1,200 off of our all-time highs for the year. Okay, so this thing is still very resilient. Okay, so I do expect it to give some more push on the upside. Again, it's a very volatile asset, so be careful. Okay, especially, this is more of a day trading world, asset to be trading, as opposed to trading it, in like as a swing trade or what have you. I mean, all these little moves, are major moves for day traders. So this is really the go-to in terms of day trading, just looking for that momentum, catching at the right time, and booking those profits. So, although we are in the summer, still pockets of opportunity. So just play your cards right. Make sure you have your stop losses in place. This is Fred Razak. Want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.